New
23.
year. That's what's up. So, with that being said, us being in the new year, we are definitely going to talk about what to look forward to for 2023. One thing for sure, this is 15 years for the Abby Award winning Vital Show. We've been on the air for 15 years. Come April, the first Sunday in April is when we kicked off Vital 15 years ago.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it is. Because I'm
Like
like,
15 years.
15 years, 100 people, thousands of guests, tons of events, two stations, live video
A
shows.
whole bunch of bouncing around time slots.
Yep, yep. Saturday mornings at 6, Sunday evenings at 7, Sundays at 6.
Yeah, Sunday morning at 6. From
Um
1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours.
it's been a lot, but it's been good. I'll go ahead and say it. I said like 15 years is probably going to be it because there's so much that goes into every Sunday night. You got to stop what you're doing, and dinner is you got to leave dinner early to go. All that. I just was like, you know what, 15 years is going to be it. I don't know if that's true or not. I can't call it yet,
So
but
you making your Oprah current call?
almost. I don't know. Like we're trying to see I don't know. But just considering that a lot really does go into having to prepare, having to come in, having to gather content. 15 years of that, I don't want to have to cut my vacation short to be back every Sunday. So that's one thing. That was just a thought that I've always had. Like 15 years is definitely good time to be on air. However, the work that we do, the things that we discuss, the people that we talk to, is vital. So I don't know. We may be on forever.
It may just need to look different.
Right. So that's one thing. Also, within this year, all of the people that we've had, tons of people have been in the seats and been a part of the different crews. We've had the Vital Vixens, we've had the Vital Guides, we had an all guy panel for a season. We've had preachers, we've had poets, we've had just tons of people that have been a part of our show, other DJs. And in this year, I'm hoping to be able to bring a lot of those people back. So said today is perfect for you to be here. Like you were my right hand man for many of these years, most of these years.
Right.
So
Man, think about the COVID era.
yeah,
That we
it was just us.
right.
Just the two of us. So yeah, we're back at that. And also making room for our listeners to be able to be a part of the show as well with the village seats. So we'll have topics that you can come in and be a part of the show on, like all types of stuff. And that's happening in 2023. So, with that being said, how have you been? Like, what have you been up to? I've seen you recently just because we kick it, when we can. But the
Right.
listeners probably like, well, we hadn't heard his head since the pandemic.
Yeah, that was yeah. Like 2020, man. That's even crazy. No,
Yeah.
about 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2021. But still, even with that, that's close to about a year and a half, 2 years that
Right.
haven't been on. But it goes into what you were saying. After trying to see, like I was going for about 10 years strong.
Mm-hmm.
So needed a break, wanted to enjoy Sundays to see what life was like with,
On a
you
Sunday evening.
right, people hear us for 2 hours, but we really at the station for like 3 hours or three and a half because
Right.
we got the conversation after the show ends. So, just wanted to reclaim my time a little bit and actually enjoy Sundays and like you say, travel and do some other stuff. So, other than working and trying to achieve goals, I just really been chilling out, enjoying time. But I have missed being down here, and any opportunity I get to come in, I definitely am always thankful and grateful to come in. So,
That's what's up.
we this may not be a one off. This may be a little bit more, of appearances from me. I'm not going to commit to anything consistent right now,
Right.
but this is 15, and if it is the last time, I don't want the top of the year to be the only time, the top of the year and the end of the year
Right.
to be the only time.
Absolutely.
Grand opening, grand closing type of thing.
And so that's the whole purpose of the village seat, and then to bring us back in and see our panelists and be reintroduced to people that they may not know. I mean, when I tell you, we have had so many panelists, like people that you all would know from the community. We've actually had them here. So, and they've been on our show. So you'll meet those ladies and gentlemen as well. you will also get a chance to, like I said, feel the seat yourself. But that idea of obligation said that you mentioned about Sundays, I gotta pull up no matter what I'm doing. I gotta leave if it's something in the park on a Sunday evening. I gotta
Right.
leave or whatever and come and do the show. So we're thinking, I'm really thinking through how that's gonna look, what we're gonna do with it. I really am, because I really am.
I don't think people, and part of the reason why we've had so many people come on, everybody's always excited and interested. Oh man, I can get on radio and I can do that, but it's not just, oh, the show starts at 7, you show up at 6:59, get in your chair and go. It's preparation, it's work, it's a lot of mental energy that goes into it. So
Yeah.
we've had people that's a part of the show, and then after a while, they kind of dismiss themselves fall off a little bit because life happens, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, that I'm not ready for that right now. So.
And I always say, I understand.
Right.
So yeah, if you're interested, honestly, I can just make this appeal right now too, because of what we're saying. I think if people could be paid to be a part of something like this, they would be more privy to come, like some type of incentive. So if you're interested in sponsoring, I'm making an appeal on there. I don't see a problem with that. But if you want to be a part of Vital and feel like you believe in what we've been doing all these years, and you see this as an opportunity for you to be a part of it, hit me up. Like, I'll link you to our sales department, and you can help Vital stay on. Make it not only worth your listening pleasure, but worth every second of our time and more. So that's the thing. And then if you want to talk on the air, you have Vital content, you want to have an opinion, or you want to share your opinion publicly on the that we discuss, like health and wellness, education, relationships, spirituality, religion, city happenings, state happenings, worldwide happenings. If you want to get in on those conversations, come on in and let us know. So 2023, new year just started, second week. I'm really just returning full speed ahead to everything. Kind of tipped around work a little bit.
Right.
But this week is going to be the first full week for me to get back in there and work. And I know the children go back to school tomorrow. As they call them, the scholars return to school tomorrow. So everybody's getting back in the groove of that. What I'm wondering is going to be different about 2023. We did the vision board mixer, which is always good. You do your vision board, you write your goals down, you set your resolutions in the first week or at the end of the year. But how often do you revisit it? And do you truly follow through on the goals that you've set?
So this year, or well, not this year, 20. That was my first vision board. Period. Ever doing, yeah, okay. The event that you did. That was my first time ever doing a vision board. So for me, that was a worthwhile experience and something that I even told you. I say, okay, I'm doing this every year now. Like, I'm making it a point at some point in time, whether I'm doing it with y'all, if I decide to travel, I'm like, okay, I need to make my vision board, before it. So I got it in my room, hanging up right in my mirror so I can see it every day, every morning. And I got a note card, and something else was good. I forget, it was either you or Courtney. I had to plan out my vision board before I actually started putting pictures and stuff down. So the vision board itself tells one story, but the note card that we wrote it down on is what is really the bread and butter as far as what I'm paying attention to and what I'm focused on being able to get. So I'm committed to it. So I don't want it to just be a nice pretty poster, and I look back at the end of the year and be like, man, I ain't do nothing on here.
I just did some randomness.
Right.
And I agree with that. So I've done a vision board that every year since 2016, I've had some type of event. I know 16 came up in my memories, and it was a table. We were at my house. I don't know who all was there, but I definitely saw magazines. We had mimosas or whatever, and we were sitting at the table. So I saw that. If you're listening and you were there, let me know. But 16 was the year that we did them. 17, 18, I did a vision book, like several pages of things that I wanted to do and wanted to see. And then was it last year? Yeah, last year I did a half poster and put it on a board. So I'm building onto my vision. Like, the vision that I have it doesn't change every year.
Right.
And I'm really big on making sure that others understand that visions and goals are not the same.
Absolutely.
They're not the same. Your vision is a more broad spectrum look at everything, like everything. Your goals are more detailed. This year or this quarter, I plan to do this. I want to get back active in the gym. I want to assess myself for a relationship. Like those are goals. Your vision may show you married.
Right.
You know, like it's a bigger picture.
Right.
But it still gives you look at your vision board. Like you look at it and you can assess, am I really doing these things? Am I committed to what I set in place? So that's why I said plan it out. Brainstorm before you do it.
Right. And that was good because if I didn't do that, then I would have just been looking through magazines and been like, "Ooh, this
Right.
dope, this nice," and putting a whole bunch of stuff on there that really didn't have any meaning to me. But like actually writing it out and purposely going through the magazine, saying, "No, I'm looking for a picture or article or words that relate specifically to this thing," instead of just this, oh, I want to do this. Oh, this looks nice, and throwing it on. And I'm trying to make my reality what I put on the vision board
Right.
instead of the reality being
my vision.
Right, exactly.
So that is the purpose for that. Hey, Tisha. So, if those of you who are listening, National Vision Board Day is coming up. I want to say Saturday. I'm going to run in there and get the calendar when we take a break, because if you missed our event, we normally do it on New Year's Eve at noon every year. That's when we do it. So next year you got a long time until it comes up again, but that's normally when we do it. Come kick it with us. We have a good time. And it's really rewarding to see other people share their vision, to work together with other people that you may not know. And it just gives you that new energy of new people, newness, fulfilling energy. So I'm inviting you a whole year in advance, a long time away, but it's something to look forward to, or something that you can do on your own. Because like I just said, I think Vision Board Day is coming up this weekend.
Okay.
I just like to do them ahead of time so that when you say,
right,
I want to kick off my year,
right,
you got your vision already in place. So yeah, that's one thing. What about resolution? Something that I want to resolve this.
Something, and it escapes me now. I saw someone, they were talking about why you don't make resolutions in January. Because they were saying something about, when you resolve to do something, how are you going to resolve to change things in January? Starting off and then consistently making resolutions. Okay, let me do, I messed up this month. So let me turn back and let me resolve to make a change come the next month.
Okay.
I think a lot of times we set the resolution for the whole year. Like, oh man, I'm gonna get in the gym more. Yeah, and when you meet it, and when you fall off from the gym, it's like, I didn't make this resolution. Better yet, I'll try again next year, or something like that. We a lot of times write off those resolutions. Yeah. Once we break them or can't maintain them, it's like, okay, well, better luck next year. As opposed to, no, I fell off this month, but next month I'm resolving to do better.
Okay. What's the definition of a resolution?
Let's look it up.
Yeah, I want, just to help me further make this point, I'll make the point before we do it, but like I never will make the resolution to get in the gym more. Just no, because I know I'm not going to. Now I put my weights by my bed. I may put a kettlebell in my office. I may say I'm going to take more steps and utilize the app on my Apple Watch, but I may not. So what's a resolution?
So the definition, according to Dictionary app, is a formal expression of opinion or intention made, usually after voting, by a formal organization, a legislator, a club, or other group. The second definition is the act of resolving or determining upon an action, course of action, method, procedure, etc. Or the third is a resolve, a decision or determination.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be making those because it's not really. I can't say it doesn't make sense, but
I don't get into resolutions. I'm going to do something. Okay. It's not like, I don't feel the need to make resolutions at the beginning of every year that I'm gonna do this better, because and you see it a lot on Facebook when folks say, man, next year I'm gonna be cutting a lot of folks off. Why you ain't the next year to cut them off? Just go ahead and cut them off now. Like, so, to say, like I said, we put these resolutions in high regard. Yeah. Like, oh, this is the cool thing. I will make these my resolutions for 2023. And then when you get in, 2023 and you fall off, then those resolutions are gone. And then what are you doing? You just basically at that point stuck in just determined to live the life that you don't want to live, but you figure, well, since I failed my resolution, I'll just ride it out and we'll try again next year.
Yeah, so for one, my mind doesn't work that way. You know, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to just put forth effort to do it because I'm interested in it. Now, if I'm not the way that I'm wired, if I'm not interested, I'm not interested, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to even put any effort in. I can't even make myself want to try because I have no interest.
Right. A lot of people put these resolutions that they know they're not going to keep.
Yeah.
Like for me, I know I need to get in the gym more and work out to help lose some weight and get in better shape. But I didn't come in. I said, I'm not going to go to the gym in January. Okay. Why? Because everybody else is going to be at the gym in January.
Get off my machine.
I'm going to take the time to build myself up. So I'm looking at some different either detoxes or stuff I can kind of do to cleanse my system, prepare my system, get rid of some of the toxins and fat and all this other stuff that's just stored away, and then gradually ease myself into working out, whether it be riding the bike or walking a little bit more, and then going to an actual gym or trainer and getting and doing the actual working out part probably about February or March, because I don't want to be clogged in with everybody else. And then, their attitude affects my attitude, because when you see so-and-so, we started, 15 deep and now the class only down to 5. Now you don't want to go to class no more because you don't want to be one of the 5 because the other 10 and,
it's too much.
Right. So I'd rather just say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to take January to focus on to mentally prepare myself to work out. To commit to working out, and then sometime February or March, I'll get down to it.
Gotcha. I'm taking January not to resolve anything, but to be more organized in each of the areas of life for me that are important. I know that I could be making way more money if I were way more organized. Like, I'm really shorting myself and working hard as hell, and it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So a financial planning book, a calendar that I not only write in every week, but I look at every day. Like, I will put the stuff in there, not look at it, have stickers to go with it, not do no organization every day. Top of the week, this is what's happening. End of the week, this is what's happening. One week has passed, and I did pretty good with that. I feel like it's up to me to not only have vision for building an empire, which is on my vision board, but the steps that I have to take every day are those goals. Like, those are the goals that I talk about us reaching. Let me put these goals in place so that I can be building an empire.
Right.
So that one day I'm going to look up and say, yeah, so when I got that book, it worked out. It made sense. So that's the main one for me, organizing everything, having everything in its place. And when I say having everything in its place, I don't just mean like tangible things. I mean actual procedures and formalities. Like, this is what has to happen for me to reach this goal,
right?
Which we call objectives. So like, I'm really just trying to reach minor objectives. I didn't put anything about a relationship or cutting people off, because why would I?
Right.
That's not how that works.
To me, I don't. For people who say, well, I'm a cut folks off this year. That's their resolution going into the year. Like I say, once again, why did you have to wait to the beginning of the year? Why not just go ahead and start cutting those folks off now, and to rid yourself of that stuff? So when because you're delaying your growth. If you know these people are negatively affecting your life or holding you down, what are you waiting for? You're stopping yourself from being able to grow or delaying your growth or your blessings or whatever's meant for you, because you're holding on to this negative weight.
But think about why we hold on. People normally hold on to relationships and people that are bad or draining because of the history. Like, I have, I think we've all done that. Well, we've invested this much time. Well, it's not all bad, or we have investments, not just time, but financial investments. We have children. Well, this friend knows too many of my secrets. Well, that's my relative. People hang on to these crazy relationships and situations out of convenience in history. So it's not all. I know that it's not easy to just walk away from people. But you got to
start. You got to start somewhere. It has to be some kind of steps. And like I say, a lot of the times even what I was talking about with working out, it starts mentally first.
Absolutely.
Mentally getting in your head, I deserve better.
Absolutely.
Mentally getting in your head, this is not normal. Like, yes, this is
Like,
my
it's my
mom,
normal, but this
my
ain't
cousin
normal.
or whoever. This is not normal.
Yeah.
I was, talking to somebody and they've been involved in some, negative relationships
Mhm.
and with somebody else, and now looking at that person, it's like bringing all that previous, and they was like, well, I'm gonna do better. I said, no, you're not.
Ooh.
Not right now, because
'Cause you're
this
not
is all
ready.
you are absolutely not ready. You are used to toxicity
Oh,
and
yeah.
dysfunction and chaos and confusion, and that's all you know. So, not saying that there's something wrong with that, but you have to first identify, okay, something is wrong with this situation.
Yeah, this
First
is
and
not,
foremost, this is
this
not normal.
healthy, right?
Right. This is not healthy. This is not normal. This is not relationship goals. This is not something to pursue.
This is toxic.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest thing people need to realize in 2023 is the toxicity of your relationships and how that manifests elsewhere in your life. One of the things I was telling this person, I said, you need to break those spiritual connections and shed that spiritual energy, because you thought, okay, I'm not dealing with this person anymore, and that's the end of it. But no, you've been intimate with this person. You've been in love with this person. So a part of them is still with you, right? It's still with you. So you're walking around trying to figure out, why my mood switch up like this? Why am I looking like this? Why am I feeling like this? That's because that person's energy is still hanging around and mixed up with your energy.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna let you keep all that negative energy over there. And once like, hearing you talk about, this is what I do every day. I said I was gonna be more share with the airwaves more that I am. When you hear Vital Life Family Counseling, that is me. So that's what I do outside of radio, and that's a big part of, that's my calling, that's ministry, that's work. But not only is it that, it's an opportunity for me to share with people who are vulnerable in those moments and need a space. And I share with them.
Right.
I know a lot of people think that therapy looks like sitting on the couch and Frazier sitting across from you just with his legs crossed on a notebook. Like, nah, that's not what we do at Vital Life Family Counseling. Like, it's legit conversation, affirmation. It is consultation and confrontation.
It's work.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to really work with my people in front of me. I'm listening to what they say and I'm reminding them of what they said. And, well, yeah, let's make this connection. Last week you said blah, blah, blah. This week you're saying this. And then here we are a month later, you still saying the same thing, which tells me that you're not ready, but you're going to have these skills by the time time happens.
I think another important thing for people to do is give themselves grace.
For sure.
So if you set one of those people that set resolutions and you miss the mark, don't just write it off or write yourself off. Give yourself grace that you are human and you gonna make mistakes, but you still have a commitment to do better. It's not how many times you don't fall, it's about the times you fall and you get back up. So anybody can, it's easy to just stay upright, but it's extremely hard to be upright, get knocked down, and then have to get right back up again and be upright.
Yeah. It's processing. It takes work. No matter what it is, honestly. Like we said, weight loss and toxic relationships or body image or whatever, and relationships, but it is everything. It's people bettering themselves, going back to school, finding a new job, maybe addressing relationships that have changed and you don't really know what happened, having those tough conversations. Maybe it is assessing your own mental health. And when I say mental health, I like what the first thing that comes to mind for people when I say mental health is, I ain't crazy.
Right.
I'm like, I thought we were past that. Y'all still ignorant like that?
Right.
But I'm finding out that a lot of people still have that idea of mental health, that they're not crazy. And like, so if you tell me that first, you're probably crazy. So I want us to get into that in the second half, managing your mental health in 2023, what that looks like to you. How do you treat mental health symptoms? What are mental health symptoms? Like, what do I say when I go to a therapist for the first time in 2023? Because I heard some people at the Vision Board party saying, this year I'm going to get a therapist. I was like, okay.
But what does that look like with you getting that therapist? It's one thing to get a therapist. It's another thing to actually listen and do the work.
Right. Yes, it's definitely that. And then the idea that two therapists presented the Vision Board party. So we were in a space and I was telling Courtney, like, there are some things that we will implement moving forward. Like, a lot of people don't know who to call, where to start. They don't know what type, what type of personality they want to work with. Do I want a male or a female? Do I want a
Right.
black therapist or a white one? Do I want somebody older than me to give me the mother role? Do I want somebody younger than me that's just, in purpose? Do I want telehealth? It's
Right.
so many things to consider, but I want us to get into that and just talk about that. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can call in 994-8949-205-994-8949. You can also follow us right now. We're on social media streaming in about 6 places. If you're watching on YouTube, we're at Vital Show. Also on Facebook at Vital Show. On Facebook at Lady Woo. We're on B949 on Facebook. So you got a lot of places to watch. And hopefully, if you're commenting and we're not responding to you, you may want to shoot over to the 94.9 page and comment. I see one just popped in. Hey, Woo, happy and blessed New Year, Vital family. Great hearing, seeing said back in the seat as Vital evolves in helping society, especially Birmingham. That's from Miss Angeline. All right, so if you want to submit your comments, hit us up. We'll share when we come back. I'm also going to tell you when Vision Board Day is. Right after these, it's B949 WATV's Abby Award-winning Vital. We'll be right back.
Is here to face the season. We're now accepting new clients and offering community group sessions. To start your journey, call 205-452-0111. That's 205-452-0111. Or text Vital Life Family Counseling. Vital Life Family Counseling.
What's that?
This concert right here.
Oh, the love reunion.
At the BJCC Concert Hall. Starring Raheem DeVaughn. Saturday, February 11th at the BJCC Concert Hall. Spend time with your Valentine at the Love Reunion Valentine's Weekend with Raheem DeVaughn. Calvin Richardson and Sunshine Anderson live. Show starts at 8. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
That is going to be good. B949 WATV. Welcome back. Second half of the show. Yeah, we're doing an hour tonight to get you in gear for the new year. School starts back tomorrow, so parents got to be parents and workers got to be workers. People got to be people tomorrow. They need a little energy, man. I tell you, out of church, man, I took a nap like thinking that it was Friday when I woke up. I was like, dang, I'm tired. So yeah,
and probably need to stay asleep a little bit longer.
For real, like yawn one more time. So yeah, we're gonna get this 2023 popping the right way and allow everybody to get back to what they need to do to get in the groove the right way. Like you don't want to start off the first full week and have your children stressed out because you can't find shoes and you don't have clean socks. So yeah, we're gonna just chop it up, do another half. So managing your mental health in 2023 and what that looks like. When you think about things that you've lived with for years, like, well, I've always been kind of jittery. I've always had anger issues. I've always this, I've always that. This may be the time for you to approach those things. I always lose stuff. I always get worried about this. I have extreme worry. I'm depressed. Like these are the things that we are talking about when we talk about mental health symptoms and managing your mental health. I want to shoot to the phone lines right quick. Caller, you're in with Vital on the first show of the new year. Who is this and what you got?
Hey, look, Lady Woo.
Hey, how are you? What a call for the first time.
Happy New Year, look, Lady Woo.
Happy New Year to you too. How you been?
Good. I saw you at Walmart.
Why you ain't say nothing?
I forgot. How you been doing?
I've been good, Mr. Madison.
How Keisha Ellison doing?
Keisha's doing good too. She's doing good.
You talked to her?
I have. I've talked to her Was it November? So not too long ago.
I heard she go graduate.
She already graduated. Yep. You keep up.
When?
She did. I think it was December, top of December.
You went?
Huh?
You went?
I think Keisha graduated top of December. I'll let her know you asked about her though. 9948949 is the number if you want to get in and be a part of the conversation. Mental health and managing your mental health in 2023, what that looks like. So you're around a lot of people and you can see their symptoms. Like you can see other people struggling.
Right.
And you can say, oh, they need some medicine, they need some help, they whatever they need. But I don't see a lot of people being as open and honest about what they need. Like really owning what they need. I've done it so long. I've dealt with this for so long this way. This is how I am, and it's okay. No, but it gets on everybody else's damn nerves.
Right. But you
Fix
either you love me and accept it, or you just don't need to be around me.
Yeah, and that's just not how it's supposed to go.
Right.
Grief, substance use disorder, having divorce,
Withdrawals.
yeah, just all type, everything in the world that we deal with, everything that makes us who we are is connected to our mental health and managing it and what it looks like when we are stressed. How do we respond with stress? Do we isolate? Do we fight? Do we eat? Right.
Right.
Do we sleep?
Right.
What do we do when we are having out of body experiences? Like I really don't know what's going on with me. I just don't feel right. I'm sometimes at work and I will walk around and I end up somewhere and don't know how I got there. I'm just thinking myself, and I'm thinking myself crazy. I've heard that. I've heard people that need to address past trauma because now they see it coming up in their current life and it's detrimental.
Right.
It's bad for them. It's bad for their children. And I talk about this a lot in sessions where I hear parents talking about how they parent. And I'm like, you're parenting from your trauma. And that your child, I don't let my child go nowhere and do nothing. What? Why not?
Right. Yeah.
Because when I went to so and so went to a sleepover, went to a birthday party, whatever, this is what happened to me. Okay, well, let's think about ways that you can still be a protective parent and allow your child to live.
I don't have natural children, but I think the biggest thing, two things I'm taking away. First of all, is acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that it did happen, that it is an issue, and that it is happening. I know a lot of times, particularly as parents, oh no, yeah, that was in the past. I used to know. You still dealing with that. You just decided to bury it a little bit deeper. Yeah. And then the second thing is having some real conversations with your kids. A lot of times we think our kids are still kids, but they are exposed to a lot, and they're a little bit more grown up than we like to admit or be around. So maybe before that child goes to that sleepover, having a real conversation and saying, hey, now when I went to a sleepover in the past, and this is one of the things, and I don't want the same thing to happen to you.
Yeah.
Like even when you're talking to your kids about money, finances, being vulnerable, like a lot of parents are afraid to be vulnerable with their children. Like I can't allow you to know that at one point in time I used to be this imperfect person.
So then you raise a child based in your trauma, and you create either a monster or somebody that's super dependent and unable to function, or like dang. So we got to really look at what we're doing in our own stuff to other people, and then you put that in relationships. Now when you start dealing with your personal intimate relationships and you haven't dealt with stuff from your past or other issues, how that affects somebody else. Like, I can't be with you. This is stressful. You got a lot of stuff that you need to work on. And I don't know how to love. I can't love you properly through your stuff. I've heard that, and I've actually experienced that. Like, I don't want to have to be you should make an appointment with somebody to really process, talk this through and figure out what the hell.
And and one of the issues that can arise from that is I'm in this relationship and this person is telling me I need to go talk to somebody, or I need to do something differently, this is that and the third. But instead of recognizing and acknowledging, yeah, this person is right, I do need to it's like, well, if they saying that and that seems like the only way they're gonna stay with me, then I'll go ahead and do it. Then the relationship dissipates, you're no longer together, and now you're no longer taking that sound advice because the relationship is over. You are only doing it for the sake of maintaining the relationship, as opposed to doing it for maintaining your own mental sanity and health and making you a better person. So a lot of times people, and then what is your commitment like when you're going through
Ooh.
those sessions? Because you're not going to there with the mindset of, okay, I'm coming here so I can be a better person.
Mhm.
You're coming in with the mindset of, I'm just doing this because she want me to or he want me to. So let me go and get through this little hour or whatever. And then so I can go back and say, well, I went to my therapy session today.
Right, you went to
Aren't you proud of me? Right.
No, I'm not. That's what you just did, and that just really bothered me. So no, like you said, the commitment of it all, understanding that there are some things that I can work on. Like we have to be that open first, and there's no age on that. You can be 8 or 80, 9 or 90. Like there is still a need to be able to talk about things. And when I say managing your mental health, it's not because something is always wrong. Sometimes you just need a space where you can go as deep as you want to go about whatever it is, and somebody can go with you. Like you may want to talk about your thought that aliens exist.
Right.
So you go to talk to your therapist. I'm gonna go with you.
Right.
We riding the rocket ship together. Like that's what it is.
Right.
So it gives you a space to be able to unpack things that your best friend may look at you and be like, you know what?
Right.
This ain't right. But with your therapist, it's not right. But I know how to facilitate this conversation and help you navigate these thoughts.
Yeah. And like I said, I think I can't say this enough. Acknowledgement is such a big thing because I know it's times where I'm at work and different things that happen and pop up, and then all of a sudden I'm feeling overwhelmed, and it's like, oh my God. And then it's like, no, okay, yes. Like acknowledging to myself, I am overwhelmed right now. I need to get up and take a walk to kind of calm down, like and mellow out, or I need to take a step back, or acknowledging what is going on with me and not saying, ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't overwhelmed. I'm just tripping. Like, it's no reason for me to do that. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to live in it, and then I'm going to work through it.
But did you had to gain those skills though, right?
Absolutely. Through therapy. I mean, it was because my biggest flaw or fault was that I thought I was immune to regular stuff. Like I had to always be the person that saved the day. So I don't have that space to be overwhelmed or whatever, even though I was, but no, I'm going to disregard that because these people need me, this person needs me, or this situation needs me. But even doing that, I still wasn't giving it my all because I wasn't all there.
That's big. That's a big acknowledgement. People think that therapists are perfect. They think that doctors never get sick. The preachers don't sin, right? So for me, I have always had a way of coping with whatever it was by writing or producing something to be able to allow me to process the story or the situation and make it a story. Like, man, this is my whole life is a movie. So you know what? Let's go type this script out.
Act 2, scene 3.
Like that's what it appears to be for me.
Right.
But I can go. I have a group of other therapists that I talk to because you got to think about it from my standpoint. Like
you taking in a lot,
and then the idea that where you put that, what you take in, could very much be
because it's still energy at the end of the day, and you can take on your client's energy, and you walking around here like, why am I all over here like this? Because it's the same thing as eating food. You're absorbing the properties, the energy, whatever the nutrients or whatever are the toxicity in that food.
It takes a lot of skill.
Correct.
That's why we go to school for it. So when
to learn how to separate that stuff.
When people say, I'm a therapist or I'm a counselor. No, you're not. You're somebody that be in other folk business, giving decent advice sometimes.
Right.
Therapists and counselors don't give advice.
But even with doing that, you're giving that advice. You're still absorbing all that energy and all that talk and everything else that person is taking on. So even with you and your messiness, you don't understand how messy you're becoming. Because you're not just taking on mess, all right, but you're not taking on a conversation, a conversation. You're taking on everything else, so you can't separate it. So now you wondering why your life so in trauma and trials and tribulation. It's because you done took on everybody. Being in everybody else mess and got you into a world of mess.
Yeah.
And even when you were talking about Frasier, the instant thought I was thinking about when you think about that show, if you watch that show, if it still comes on, reruns, Frasier was messed up.
Yeah.
And had his own issues.
Yeah.
So yes, he was a therapist, but throughout the show, you can see
How
where
he was unfolding.
correct.
And so that's the thing about managing your mental health. When you manage whatever it is, you can be a bank. I'll go to a banker or to a tax assessor or something like that, and you owe back taxes. My banker, you owe account negative. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
we're all living the experience, but there are people who have skills that allow them to come out of those moments. Things happen to everybody.
Right.
So what skills have I attained for my profession that allow me to help others? Okay, yeah, my account is negative as a banker because I need to get a new job. I'm not making enough money at the bank I'm working at.
Right.
So that happened. Or like I said, as a doctor who gets sick, I'm human.
Mhm.
And I didn't know, just like you didn't know you were about to have a heart attack, neither did I.
Right.
So, giving professionals space too.
Grace.
Yeah, like that's how, when you think about where can I put my stuff? Who can I call? Who can I work with? Who would understand this? Who has the same lived experiences I do,
Right.
come from the same place that I do. They talk
Right.
how I talk. I got a sign in my office now that says cry, cuss, communicate. Cause I'll be like, oh my bad. Why are you
What you
apologizing to me
apologizing for? Right.
Let me start
spring-
cussing you. You would be so shocked.
And I really I don't want to make it sound bad, but I feel for ministers because I think of all the people we named, the different professions. Ministers are the ones that are expected the most to be perfect individuals.
Yeah, I've grown up with that.
Right.
Everybody.
And it's like, no, they are still human beings. So, oh my God, the pastor cussing, he's still a man, or she's still a man, like a woman. Like they're still individuals. So
yeah.
they may be strong in other areas, but lack in other areas. So they may be strong and they don't cuss, they don't drink, they do all that, but they got a problem with food.
Yeah.
And they
yeah.
got a problem, with discipline or
mental health.
Mental health, absolutely. So just because they are in these professions don't mean that they're perfect. So whatever, like I'm in IT, but I don't know every single thing about IT. It's sometimes where it's like, man, I can't figure this out. Just uninstall, reinstall, do so. I don't know. I just got to be content with it.
Preachers, yes. And I want to say teachers too.
Yeah.
So teachers, because I'm thinking about like the return to school tomorrow. They had a week of intercession this past week to get students ready or caught up or whatever, that's a great offering. But then you think about like summer break, spring break, when things happen during the year, you get on social media and you see parents saying, dang, I wish they would open the schools back up. And you see teachers who are also taking in children and their stuff, seeing children who are being neglected, seeing children who are abused, seeing children who don't have what others have, seeing children with intellectual disabilities that aren't being spoken to, who aren't eating, who have these different things. That's a lot to take in too. So I'm speaking to teachers now. You stay on top of your mental health,
right?
Because you're dealing with my
right, absolutely,
with our children,
yeah.
And you be on top of your stuff too. We are all human. We all need each other, but stay on top of your stuff. Let me shout out a couple people that are watching right now before we get out of here. King Jeff, one time to you. Thank you for tuning in. Nick Walton, hello. What's up, George the second? Hey to you. Candace Peggy Sue, hey ma'am. Who else we got in here? I just saw some other people. I lost it. But hey to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Hey Chuck, Chuck says social workers as well. Yeah, a lot of social workers also take on the title of therapist. So we all in the same boat. There's some LPCs and LCSWs.
And then even the burnout in these careers.
Oh, for
sure.
It's
a certain lifespan you got if you don't.
Man.
There's already a one lifespan, but then that lifespan is shortened if you're not taking care of your mental health.
Look at here. Every opportunity I get to go somewhere,
you go.
I'm going.
I don't blame you. Right.
Like,
yeah.
Once a month, it's already understood. Once a month, I'm going somewhere. It may not be far, but I'm going somewhere and I'm not working.
A part of my vision board was taking a trip at least once every quarter.
Yeah.
And then trying to travel internationally at least twice a year.
Okay.
Just for my mental, because like if I'm here, like taking off is one thing, but you still here, you still around family and everything else where people can call upon you and say, but I need to be away where if you need something, I can't even do anything.
I'm not the one that can do it.
I'm sorry. I'm not even in the state. I'm not in the country or whatever, what they say, find somebody else to do it.
Yeah. I mean, self-care is a big part of mental health. And that's the biggest part for clinicians and people who are offering the services, but it's for everybody. What are you doing to take care of yourself? Because if you're pouring out to everybody else, I'm being everything to everybody, but my cup isn't full. I mean, I don't want your last or your leftovers. I
Right.
want your best. So self-care is important. And people feel like self-care is selfish. No, it's not. Right now, I'm not answering my phone because I'm taking a nap.
Even if it is classified selfish, so what?
Yeah, it
A
is
lot
what
of
it
a
is.
lot of people that make requests of you are selfish requests or selfish
Mm.
things they ask of you. So if you want to be selfish with your time and selfish with your mental sanity and selfish with your physical health, be selfish. There's nothing wrong with that.
Something self-care doesn't have to be explained. So it may look like something that is interfering with somebody else's something. I'm okay. Right? Like, all right. So for you, it may be bird watching. It may be organizing your pictures, or it may be getting your feet done every Friday.
Right.
It may be cooking. Whatever it is that you do that helps you to refuel, refill, and revive yourself, do that. People often find I guess concern when they are in a space with other people and what their self-care looks like and how it affects those around them. So I often give a remedy for have self-care that you can do with others, because there are things that you can do with others that help fuel you, but then there are things that you do by yourself.
Right.
If a napping is my self-care, set your napping up so that you won't be interrupted, even if there are children in the home, or even if you do have a partner or a spouse or whoever in the home. Make it clear, communicate it. Hey, said every day at 4, that is my self-care time. I take a
Right.
nap, I may read the paper, whatever I'm doing. If it's not pressing, give me my hour.
Right.
And I'll get with you when I finish. Every day though.
Right.
This is not up for debate. This is what I do every
Right.
day. What would be difficult about you accepting that?
The only difficult part about that would be if I feel like, oh, well, at 4 o'clock, I need you to do something for me.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes, oh, but you taking time for yourself. But what about me? So
I
who gonna
just
do
told
this?
you.
Right, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. That's where it becomes difficult, and you have to stand on your word and be selfish.
Yeah. Let's take a call. Happy New Year. Caller, you're in with Vital. What's your question, comment, thought, or concern?
Hey, Lady Wu and Sir Said, happy and blessed New Year.
Happy
Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you so much. I just wanted to really express my feelings about what you all are talking about.
Mhm.
I think it's vital. Somewhere along the way, people have gotten really all confused about a person taking care of themselves
Yeah.
and what they need to do. And it just hit a chord with me when you said a person don't have to explain
Yes.
what they're doing about taking care of themselves. I like that. I appreciate you saying that. I really do, because it's something I've tried to share and to impart to my family members who I care about.
Mhm.
Take care of yourself. Enjoy your life.
Right.
It's your life.
And you get
It's not
one.
everybody else. It's not everybody else's life
Right.
who want to have some say about it and who want to say something about it. Sometimes people just need to be quiet, go somewhere and sit down and let people be.
Right.
Let them live. And I just thank you for talking about that
Yeah. Well, you are so
this
welcome.
evening.
Thank you.
It's vital.
Thank you.
And both of you, you're young. Continue to enjoy your lives and live your lives.
Oh,
What
don't you
God has
worry.
put in you. I'm serious. What God has put in you, and not trying to please everybody else, because you can't do it. And I'm saying this for the listeners. That is something you cannot do. You cannot please everybody.
Yeah.
So live your life, take care of yourself as you have been preaching, and you have taught us vital listeners that we must take care of ourselves. I'm just saying it to the people as well. Take care of yourself and live your life.
Thank you so much. Definitely doing that. While she was speaking, it made me think about the other aspect of all of this. So self care, like you said, Sir said, taking total self assessment to know that, yeah, and accountability for what it is. Okay, I'm here. Awareness, mindfulness. That's what you said. There's another piece of the equation, sometimes medication. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. They don't like to think about that. Well, I have this addictive personality or whatever the issue may be or whatever the concern is with medication. But sometimes, and I teach this a lot, I'm not a pill pusher because I'm not a psychiatrist, but I know when that's needed. Like at this point, talking and doing worksheets ain't helping.
Yeah.
There has to be something else. So we call it a cocktail. There have to be a few ingredients that go into this. This is how you mix it all up for you. Is how you can be better. So when people decide not to take their medicine because they feel a way, and then they continue to struggle, then they find themselves in situations that are worse than how they started when they were medicated. So you remember being bad off and struggling, then you got on your medicine, but then you started to think something else. You started having intrusive thoughts, and your medication made you feel like, I can do without this. I don't need this. I don't want to be dependent on this. What I teach is that if it's a chemical imbalance, you can't fix a chemical imbalance with non-chemical fixers, right? Like you have to match chemicals. So if I'm having an issue with my emotional self, I got to deal with my emotional self. I'm having an issue with my physical self, I got to deal with my physical self. So nothing is different about your chemical self. It's a chemical imbalance. So your medication is what balances you. I don't want anybody to feel like they are less than or weak because they take their medicine. Take your damn medicine because you make it hard for the rest of us when you don't. And that's just being honest. And then knowing when you need, I got to do something else. This what I've been doing ain't working. Yeah,
put that pride to the side.
I get a lot of that. Like, I'm gonna try to do without it, and you're gonna continue to struggle.
Right.
And that's just simple.
Right. I mean, it's just point blank. Like you said, there's nothing wrong with if that's what it requires. Or, and I don't know a lot, but about, the medicines and stuff like that. But it may not be a lifetime sentence where you're on that medication. There may be to a point where you need to get it and kind of offset some stuff, and you can start kind of reducing or drawing back on it some.
It is possible.
Or while you're on that medication, you can learn some better coping skills and mechanisms that you weren't going to be able to learn unless you were on that medication to kind of quiet and balance some other stuff out. So you may for some people, if it is like for the rest of your life, this is the medication you got to take for you to be a better person, not only for yourself but for your family and loved ones. Then do it. But if your goal is not to be on medication for the rest of your life, find out, okay, if I get on this, what are some ways or what are some things that I can do to get off or start pulling away from it?
Right. And be under someone's care when you do that.
Absolutely. Where you're having conversations.
Right? Trust them enough to tell you, okay, you're starting to regress and you're having hallucinations and delusions again.
Correct.
Or you
like regular conversations and monitoring.
Yeah. Like that's what comes with that. So if it's
but don't just try to self-medicate and get out there on your own, because that's when things go.
But that, my brother, is the spiral that a lot of people, that's how we find a lot of people in mental health care, because they've gotten in some type of trouble because they have self-medicated. Typically, self-medication is illegal. We're talking about marijuana. We're talking about other drugs, even alcohol, the things that can legal. Yeah. Unsafe sometimes. Yeah. So when these different things happen where you're coping through self-medication or being overly spiritual, like I'm going to go to church every day. I'm going to pray. I'm not going to I can't watch this. I can't listen to this kind of music. You become really, really, really excessive in everything else, but it may have just been a chemical imbalance.
Right.
And you can still go to church every other day if you choose to. You can still be socially free if that's what you want to do, but then you're balanced. You're able to make better decisions because you are balanced. So that for me, that's a big part of a lot of people's mental health care, where there's symptoms for depression. I'm in my room 6 and 7 days a week. I hadn't taken a shower, didn't brush my teeth, don't answer the phone. And then one day I just come out of it. It happens sometimes, but not all the time.
Right. Like
not all the time.
Like we were talking about earlier, it's all about taking those steps. Yeah. Like first and foremost, before you can take any action with anything in your life, you have to make sure you're mentally in that space to be able to address it and deal with it, because everything is not going to go easy. And when you hit those tumultuous times and hit those hard places, if you're not mentally in a good space, that will cause you to regress or throw you off completely to not even want to pursue that task, that goal, that objective, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, if you're having issues with focus, concentration, forgetfulness, um, just lack of motivation, those are symptoms of ADHD. Those have to be treated chemically. If you're having symptoms where you're worried and thinking about death and dying all the time and what can happen is wrong, I'm scared to drive, I'm scared to eat out at restaurants, I'm scared to walk in the classroom by myself, I'm scared to do this. All I do is worry about the worst that can happen to me, my friends, my family. That can be treated. That may be chemical and emotional work that you have to do. If you are, I'm just so down, I'm always sad, I can't
Right.
feel better. I smile sometimes, but a lot of times I'm just sad. That's depression. That can be treated. If it's just that, I see things, I hear things, and I really get all caught up in these conspiracies, and I feel like somebody's out to get me. There may be something else we need to talk about.
Mhm.
Those are mental health concerns and issues that you can manage and live a good life.
Right.
Really,
Right.
for sure.
Don't let pride stop you from living a better life.
Yeah, or fear.
Right. I got
The
this. I
fear
can
of
do
the
it myself.
unknown,
Or,
right?
oh, I'm scared if I start taking these pills and folks find out what they gonna think. Well,
Oh.
9 times out of 10, they already thinking stuff anyway. They just may have not said anything.
Like, you know what?
They may actually be proud of you for
Right,
being you on pill. Thank God. Like that's so
I
good
don't
for
even know
you.
what kind of pill it is, but I'm
Right.
glad you got it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, like that's real. And the fact that, I don't mind my clients saying, blame it on me. When you say my therapist told me, I a lot of times before I really got into the field, people would say, well, my so-and-so told me. So that's what I'm doing is before I meet with anybody, I really do seek guidance and pray that my steps and words are ordered so that I can say something that they can take with them. And when they do go out here in the community saying my therapist told me,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Right.
But you,
like your
you
therapist
know,
told you what? No, you need
Yeah.
a new therapist. Sound
right.
like-
And then look, I'm like, so did you fully understand what I
Right.
said? Are we clear on what I'm suggesting? Jeez. So yeah, like it is a lot of work that goes into being well, but there are people here and around to help you do that. There are people here and around to help you do that, to be well. Selena, hey, birthday twin. She said, it's crazy that I see this. And I just saw an interview with one of the officers who was dealing with what happened at the Capitol 2 years ago, Friday, saying to this day that to this day he still struggles with his mental health. PTSD. Thank you, Selena. So like everything that you can think of that somebody's affected by, I can kind of tell you with the symptoms that you're saying or whatever the event was, you may be dealing with this.
Well, and also, and that brings up a good point. He said 2 years later, he's still dealing with his mental health.
Will.
Right, exactly. Some mental health situations aren't just 3 months, 6 months, a
Mhm.
year. It's gonna be
It's
over.
lifetime.
Some of them may be lifetime, but you gotta be. But I think what helps you move through it better, once again, is acknowledging, yeah, I got PTSD
Yeah.
and I got it real bad. So I know what triggers me and triggers this PTSD, and I know what I need to do to avoid it. Or if it is triggered, I know, okay, this is PTSD that I'm reacting to now,
Yeah.
and this is the way I need to cope to it. So I need to go home and chill out. Just isolate myself, watch a good
Once you
movie or
learn
something
your
like that.
skills,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Write in my journal. If
Right.
my therapist says, well, text me when this happens or call do the crisis hotline. Like there are so many things that you can do no matter what the diagnosis is or what you're experiencing. PTSD for us as African Americans is a big deal. And we're going to be talking about it more this year. Wait till February. I'm going to give y'all a lot of stuff in that month where we talk about what mental health looks like for the African American community at large. Speaking of us and what we're doing before we get out of here, Corey Petway says, here's an open invitation to all. Next Sunday at 11 a.m., the 100 Black Men Deep Walk will be having our first stop, the Violence March in West End, starting at Harrison Park. We'll share more information with that throughout the week. Y'all make sure you support, be a part of something bigger and better than yourself, and don't leave anything how you found it. I always leave it better. That's the goal. You got another hour with us, but we're gonna play music so you can start ironing them clothes, packing them lunch boxes.
Hey, go ahead and fold them clothes up, take them out the basket.
Tell your little children to get their practice stuff ready.
Right.
Don't leave the
Little
practice bag,
Chromebooks
man.
or whatever they got. Yeah.
So yeah,
put
we're
them on
gonna
the charger.
We're gonna give you an hour of work music. Play a playlist for you to prepare for the first full week of 2022 for some, and then the second week of the year for others. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. you can catch us right here on B94.9 WATV doing our thing and being vital. Sir said, thanks for coming in.
No problem.
Always a pleasure.
It's good to come back.
Always a pleasure. I will be seeing you soon. They'll be hearing more from you. And for all of you who tuned in, thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I'll speak with you tomorrow at noon in the free lunch flashback right here on the V. Y'all have a good night and be vital.